And crises may just be brewing in the local government administration in Osun State with the recent passage into law of a new parliamentary edict which gives the governor sweeping powers to dissolve local government councils. A civil society group, Speak Out Initiative, is raising its voice against the amendment carried out by the Osun State House of Assembly, saying it violates the constitutional provisions setting up local government councils in Nigeria.
And now, for more on this, we have Kenneth, who is the president of the Speak Out Africa Initiative, to shed more light on this. Good to have you. Very quickly, your organization, Speak Out Initiative, you congratulated or commended the government for reversing the policy on local government administration, but at the same time, you're calling out, if you like, the government, saying it's violating the Constitution. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, thank you. Like we know, local government administration in Nigeria being the closest to the people and the larger population of the country, it is being said from the side that up to 70% of the population enjoy governance from the local government. But unfortunately, local government have been in comatose. And so, and that is, the effect has been so very conspicuous, being that the central, which is the federal government, have been under unnecessary and undue pressure, because everybody now comes and look up to the federal government, which supposedly, ordinarily, it shouldn't be so. That was why, in first place, we have three tiers of government: the federal government, the states, and the local government. And so, because of that loophole and the inactive state of the local government, the central is collecting all the bullets. You see someone in the local village calling the president, whereas most of them does not even know who is the local government. And so this is what we have seen. But when we look at the whole problem of the local government administration in Nigeria, it's in fourfold. Quickly, one is the power from the Constitution, the legislative loophole that was even created in the first place. Things were not spelled out correctly the way it should be. And that is why in many quarters you see the states chief executives doing a lot of things, and they're having their own backup.
That we have bias to the data and spirit of the Constitution.
Exactly. Secondly, is the citizen itself. It's unfortunate that so many persons does not even know who their local government council chairmen are. And so before you can now talk about accountability, holding them responsible when they don't know. But they know.
If they're active, the people would know them.
Yeah. And so these are the problem and everything, all the problems that are really responsible for the comatose nature of an inactive nature of the local government. And when you begin to see that, the result is very clear. It seems as if the money and all the allocations pumping out, we are not seeing the effort, because the people who constitute the larger population are not feeling the dividend and the development at the grassroots level. Now, in the case of Osun State, we commend them for the states, changing the state local House of Assembly from the parliamentary system of government, which shouldn't be so. In the last era was that the people elect the councillors, then the councillors among them will now bring out the chairman. Right. Yeah, but now the State House of Assembly, just last week, Wednesday, now made a reversal of that law, now says it should reverse back to the federal system of government, where people can now elect. But they now committed another legislative blunder by saying that in the case where the governor, the state chief executive couldn't, in violation of the Constitution, Section 7.1 of the Constitution, that recognizes only elected council officials. Yeah. You are now giving the government, creating and building something on nothing. Telling the governor that the governor is now at his purview. In the case that he couldn't do that, he can now run the state with the committee and the actual administrators and what they become is appointees, which violates the Constitution of the federal government.
Let me just say something here that a good initiative, you've brought this to the public attention. But why are Nigerians always resting on their wrecks by this on, something that they have power to go and challenge this matter in court? Is Speak Out Initiative going to go to court to challenge it? Because we've had a Supreme Court judgment on the local government administration about tenure, that it is 3 years. Some states reduced it to 2 years. But kudos, from the state I come from, because of a very capable and dexterous man, he conducted elections into local government administration yesterday in Delta State, and it was peaceful. So what is Speak Out Initiative going to do?
Thank you. And a part of what we are going to do, I agree with you that the people are be resting on their oars. One of the things we are doing is to reawaken that spirit, that consciousness in us, that we don't actually need to put our eyes on the central. The local government, which is the third tier of government, was, constituted for the sole purpose of, reducing the pressure on the central. And so we want to reawaken that consciousness that I will be able, people can walk to the local government and ask their treasurer, ask their council chairman questions, and ask that the money you received, what were you able to do it? And, funnily enough, they've not been denying any federal allocation every month. And so part of what we're also going to do is that as this present time, while we comment governors like just yesterday, Delta State government conducted, Kaduna own is coming May 15, and so many. We are calling on the state chief executives that it is high time they begin to conduct election. And in the case where they refuse or they do,
there is even an executive order transmitted from Mr. President,
Exactly.
and to the NFIU about, first line charge or local government allocation going to them. But the state assemblies have not even cooperated in that direction. Neither are the state government allowing that to happen.
And we expect the federal government, we are using this opportunity. The federal government should, the political will, they should match word with action. It doesn't just end at giving an executive order, which we saw how the Nigeria Governors Forum, how they opposed it, and since then things just
because it's a constitutional matter where the constitution talks about a joint account between the state and local government. So can you come with an executive order to discharge that constitutional order?
That is what we are calling on the President Muhammadu Buhari, that he needs to go further. It's going to take the legislature. The National Assembly need to make order. That's why I said the problem with local government is in fourfold. I stated for this legislative loophole in the first place. Until that is corrected, you cannot just, the executive alone cannot solve the issue of financial autonomy. If that is not solved, in fact, we are just there. And so if the state go ahead to still commit those things, then we will now have no other than to take legal action against them. And we believe that the Nigerian people...
The people of Osun particularly.
Of course.
They'll be
not just Osun.
They'll be looking at your name, Kenneth Eze, and they will say you are an interloper. You're not from the state.
No. This is constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay.
It's not the constitution of Osun. Yes, we have the stake, and that is why. And it's not just Osun. Let me put it this. There are a lot of states that have been running local government administration with committees, with sole administrators, without elected government chairman there.
Thanks so very much, Kenneth Eze, president of Speak Out Initiative. They're talking about the imbalance in the local government administration.